Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm continuing my series on the Mavic Air 2, comparing against the different DJI drones out there, and today's contender is the DJI Mavic Mini. Now the Mavic Mini is a really fun drone to fly. Mine has over 370 flights, 50 plus hours, and 250 plus miles on it. So I've gotten more than my money's worth out of this little guy. Now again, I could just list out all the specs and give you a boring comparison of these two fun drones, but instead, we're going to break it down into 5 different categories. First, price, which includes accessories and resale value. Then endurance, which includes battery life, transmission range, and ergonomics. Then we have photography and videography capabilities. And then finally, technology. Now, the obvious difference between these two drones right off the bat is going to be the price. The Mini is half the price of the Mavic Air 2, just like the Mavic Air 2 is half the price of the Mavic 2 Pro. The question is, do we see double the value and double the fun of the Mini? With the Mini, you get a lot at the $400 price point. It's an amazing entry-level drone for those who want a full-fledged GPS drone but don't want to pay $800 to get it. Now, I think the reason that DJI chose to release the Mini first, then the Mavic Air 2, because they wanted to capture as many new drone users as possible, get them addicted to the Mini, which leaves you just wanting a little bit more, kind of like a drug dealer. That's where the Mavic Air 2 fills in the gap and will capture a lot of those Mini users who loved the Mini and just felt like it wasn't enough. The cost of accessories between these two is going to be similar since they both came out recently, and the price of accessories is still going to be higher than other drones that have been out for years, although it does appear that some of the accessories from the older generation will work with the Mavic Air 2 and definitely work for the Mini. That leaves us with resale value. With obviously the Mavic Air 2 is going to have a higher resale, being at twice the retail price. So between those 3 things, cost, accessories, and resale, I'm going to have to give this category a tie, mostly because the Mini wins in price, but the Mavic Air 2 wins in resale value. Now, endurance. With both these drones having a greater than 30+ minute battery life, it's going to be a tough call who will win the endurance race, especially with videos out there showing the Mini having a staggering range with a clear line of sight, with no extra equipment or modifications. I believe it was fellow YouTuber Dustin Dunhill who flew his Mini 18,000 feet, about 3.4 miles and 5.5 kilometers on a stock Mini and controller. There's other guys who have flown further, but it's not stock part. So we're going to call the max battery range for the Mini about 5.5 kilometers. The Air 2 has a maximum transmission range of 10 kilometers and a max battery range of 18.5 kilometers, just blowing the Mini out of the water with the improved OcuSync 2.0, larger battery, and faster speeds. So last we come to the ergonomics, which this may just come down to preference. While the Mini has the older design of the Mavic series controller, the Air 2 is utilizing an improved ergonomic controller design based on feedback from users. It's a similar design to the Phantom's controllers, which was also used in the design of the digital FPV controller. So with that, I'm going to give the endurance category to the Mavic Air 2, but it's a very close call. Next up, we have photography. The Mavic Mini has a smaller sensor than the Air 2, but it really is just barely smaller, about only 3.7% smaller. So if you look at this reference chart I developed, it shows the difference between the 1-inch Mavic 2 Pro sensor, the Mavic Air 2 half-inch sensor, and the Mavic Mini sensor. Now you can't see much difference in size, but there is a large difference in quality compared between the Air 2 and the Mini. Now that's mostly because of the employment of more shooting modes. Smart photo tech and the 12 megapixel quad Bayer filter that bumps the resolution up to 48 effective megapixels. Now what that means is the Mavic Air 2 is taking a 12 megapixel sensor, breaking each megapixel into 4 smaller megapixels, and calling it 48 megapixels. Think about it like this. If I took a 12 slice pizza, cut each slice into 4 additional slices, then I'd have a 48 slice pizza. Pizza didn't get any bigger, therefore the amount of pizza didn't change. It's just sliced into more slices. This does give some huge benefits over a traditional Bayer filter. It allows the sensor to capture real-time HDR photos and has improved low light capabilities. And what the sensor can do is assign some pixels to longer exposure and some to shorter, and then combine the images to give you that high dynamic range. It does sacrifice the 48 megapixels, bringing it back down to 12 megapixels, because those extra pixels are doing different things. Now, with those capabilities of the slightly larger sensor, and the fact that Mini does not shoot in RAW or DNG, I'm going to give this category to the Mavic Air 2. Next, we have the videography section, and it's similar to the photography section. The Mavic Air 2 is going to dominate this category with its 4K 60p capabilities, including the ability to shoot 8K hyperlapses and 1080p 8x slow-mo in 240 frame rate. Really a landslide between the Mini and the Air 2's video capabilities. The Mini also lacks a flat color profile like D-Cine-like, which is something anyone who does professional video would be looking for. Again, I'm going to be giving this category to the Air 2. Last, we come to the technology category, and in that category, I'm going to add the weight specification. The Mini's biggest marketing tool was its sub 250 gram weight, putting it outside most of the restrictions placed on drones by government. One of the best uses of the Mini would be for travel. As the Mini is so small and light, most people consider this a kid's toy. So when you're a professional who gets hired to shoot drone video outside the US, you'll run into customs problems and possibly have to pay a large import fee with bigger, larger drones. Because of the Mini's small form and light weight, it's become a perfect companion for me and my wife when we go on cruises or travel. So with that small form and light weight comes a price, and that's its inability to resist wind, with a wind rating of 28.8 kilometers per hour, or it's about 18 miles per hour. The Mini is quite susceptible to the slightest of breezes, and much to the dismay of many Mini owners, this has resulted in many flyaways. It's also not the best in photography and videography, so outside of a travel blog, the Mini isn't really going to be used in such a way. Now, the Mavic Air 2, which is more than twice the weight of the Mini and about 60% of the weight of the Mavic 2, it's able to resist winds better than the Mini and is still small and portable, with it able to withstand 29 to 38 kilometer per hour winds, which is about 18 to 23.6 miles per hour. The Air 2 is also packed with way more technology than the Mini, with multiple sensors, different modes, extra features that the Mini is lacking. I would describe the Mini as the base model Toyota Corolla of drones, whereas the Air 2 is more like the premium model with all the bells and whistles like automatic window and door locks, cruise control, and a fancy stereo system. Both are very good at what they do, but there are some obvious differences. With that said, I'm going to give this category to the Air 2. It's a tough call, but the weight alone couldn't outweigh all of the extra bells and whistles that the Air 2 has packed into it. Sure, you got to register it with the FAA as a hobbyist, but that $5 will be worth it. So I think it's obvious who won the matchup. With the Air 2 placing in all 5 of my categories, it is a landslide. Now, for those who value price the most, the Mini might be worth it to you. But as a Mini owner, I can tell you there's a reason the Mini came out first. It's an entry-level drone meant to drag those who are reluctant to spend so much money on their first drone. But once you're bitten by the drone bug, you know you're going to buy more. And DJI knows this. The Air 2 is the answer to those who purchased the Mini, loved it, and just want more from their drone experience. Let me know in the comments which one you think is better. Which one do you think would win the matchup? Is the Mini better? So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'm going to see you next time.